All right, ladies. Oh my goodness. I hope that you all had a wonderful week, wonderful weekend. For all the women that showed up for themselves last week on the 3-day challenge. Oh my God. For Tatiana for winning the red bottoms, for Veronica winning her candle. You should have got it by now. I received an email that said you got it yesterday. And for Nicole for winning her headset. Like, wow, I just wish I could give you stuff all day long. Like, you guys deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve it. Today we're going to be talking about how to present in your script. And we didn't talk about that in the challenge. So I thought it was really important that we added that in here because if you remember from last week, and a lot of people also, side note, if anybody has any questions about last week or the videos, we took the videos down. Those were only available for replays for our VIPs. If you want to be a VIP, it's www.closingdealsandheelschallenge.com/VIP. It was like $97. We'll give you access to all the replays and the VIP bonus sessions, all that stuff. So that's what you want. I've had a couple people reach out to me about that. All right, let's go back in. So whenever you are learning how to do a script, we talked about the different eras of selling, and we talked about the consultative era, right, in the 80s, where they came out with spin selling. And it was basically where you ask a few logical based questions and then you go straight into your presentation. And then at the end, you go into objection handling. And studies were showing that most sales reps have a presenting problem. Most sales reps are presenting over 50% of their time in a sales conversation, when we are the most persuasive when we present less than 10% of a sales call. So if we're more persuasive when we present less than 10% of a sales call, and most of us were presenting 50% of the time, do you see how there could possibly be an issue and a problem? So I'm going to go over a 3-step formula of how to make it less in your call. Now, if you're selling for certain industries, like let's say insurance, right, where you have to go over a few different options, there's a way that you can do it where you can communicate what's going on, and you can also make them feel like they're a part of the process without going into every single nitty-gritty aspect of the things, right? So here's a 3-step formula. Number 1 is going to be repeating back your prospect's problem that you've already discussed on the call, which is typically 1 to 3 problems. Can't do that here. Number 2 is going to be repeating the pain points that they're experiencing with these problems and the consequences of that problem. And then number 3 is how you solve the problem. Pardon me really fast. You can't make noise. You're making noise. Please stop. Love you. All right. And state how you will solve the problem with your product or service and what that means to them. So I'm going to share with you on this, like what to say and what to do. Let me see if I could drop this in the chat. I know that we were a little bit banded from post. Let's see if I can do that. Yeah, I think for Facebook, it's not going to let me post. Oh, maybe it will. Okay, here you go. 3-step formula to presenting your product or service. So the purpose of this, the purpose of presenting your presentation this way is that it feels custom to the prospect. It doesn't feel like you go into your pitch mode, oh, this is what we do and blah, 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 blah. It doesn't feel like that. What it feels like is that you've been listening to them and that you're acknowledging pain points that they've been through, and you're talking about how your solution solves those specific wants and needs. So they feel like really connected to what you're selling, really connected to the solution. They feel like to answer their problems and to solve the problems, they have to buy your solution or product or service. Yes. So I'm going to share this with you guys so that you can kind of understand the framework of that. While I'm doing this, can you drop in the chat what industry you're in? If you're watching this live, do #live. If you're watching this on a replay, #replay, so I can see where you guys are coming from. Let me share my screen. All right. So 3-step formula here. Number 1, again, we're going to repeat back the problems that you discussed on this call, which is typically 1 to 3 problems that you've heard. I'll give you an example of this in a second. Number 2, you're going to repeat the pain points that they're experiencing with these problems, the consequences of that problem. And then number 3, you're going to state how you solve the problem with your product or service and what that means to them. Yes, and what that means to them. So let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. Yeah, there we go. Does that look better on here? Perfect. Yes. All right, let's look at these here. We have S&P restaurants, staffing, recruitment. Let's go. Okay, here's an example. You know, one of the biggest problems that people have when they come to us is that and then you insert the problems that they're experiencing, not the problems that your clients have, unless it's completely redundant, but the problems that they had just mentioned earlier on the call. And you talk about the consequence of having those problems. Like one of the biggest problems that people have when they come to us is that they typically, don't have the skills to be able to sell more so that they can make money. And it's causing them to, have to overwork every single week and not have any time with their kids, okay, for example. And the way that we solve that for our clients like you is that you plug in a piece of your solution to that problem. And the way that we solve that for clients like you is that we, create an interactive learning portal so that you can learn and acquire these skills even when you're on the car or when you're waking up in the morning or late at night, so that you can do it all, be a mom and figure it out, right? And what that means to you is exactly what I'm saying. The benefits of what that means to you is you being able to do it on your own time, be a mom, be in business, learn everything all on your own. Yes? So again, one of the biggest problems people have when they come to us is all the problems that they said, which is causing them to blank. And the way that we solve that for our clients like you is, and you plug in your solution, and what that means for you is, and you talk about the benefits and the advantages of what would happen if they had this solved. Yes? Here's another example of what it could look like. Sally, remember when you had mentioned earlier that you going through all the problems, blank, 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 which was causing you to, and you talk about the consequence of that problem. So one of the biggest problems people come to us for is for the exact same thing that you said. So the way we solve this for clients like you is, and you go into how you solve their problem, and what that would mean for you is blank. Yes. So let me give an example of what this would sound like. Okay. Let's say that, and then we're going to check in with that. We're going to go back to that in a second. Let's say that you're in real estate training. Okay. Sally, remember how you said that you were wanting to get, more investment properties right now, but you were a little limited on your funding and capital that you have to go really slow. And because that's causing you to stay in your job because you don't have enough money. Okay. Do you see what I'm doing? Right? Talking about the problem, and then I'm talking about the consequence of the problem. Yes? Sally, remember that you had said that you were wanting, more investment properties, but right now you're so limited with your capital that you have to go really slow. And, because of that, it's causing you to have to stay in your job because you don't have enough money. Okay. First part. So, and we're going to go back up. What's the second part? So the way that we solve this for clients like you is, and we plug in the solution, and what that means to you is blank. So let's go back down. So one of the biggest problems that people have when they come to us is the exact same thing. They just don't understand the different financing options and how to get into a property with little to no money down. So they get stuck saving, and they're only able to pick up maybe 1 or 2 properties every year. So it takes them decades to become full-time investors. So what we do is train you on how to profit any deal, which includes like wholesale, short sale, etc. So, what that would mean for you, Sally, is that you're not letting any deal just like fall through the cracks anymore. And you're not having to use your own money or apply with bank loans. So that way you're able to, scale your portfolio and your business quickly and not be restricted by cash flow. Like, are you with me on that? Okay, so I just went through that, a lot of information. Let's go back so we can see what I did. At the end, I'm asking for an agreement question. And I'm like, are you with me on that? Does that make sense? I'm trying to see that they're with me on this as I'm explaining it. Yes? So I went through, remember how you said you were doing this, talking about the problems that they're experiencing, and then the consequences of that problem. I have to say the consequences of what's going to happen if they have that problem. And then I talk about how we solve this. So one of the biggest problems that people have when they come to us is the exact same thing you said. And I repeat in what they say. So the way we solve this for clients like you is that and you talk about how we solve those problems. And what that means for you is all the benefits of what it solved. And then you check in an agreement question. Like, are you with me on that? Okay. Now, I'm going to say this one more time, but I want you to listen to my tonality as I do this, okay? Because if you just do this monotone, you're like, remember how you said this and this, like it won't work. Okay, so Sally, you remember how you said earlier that you really wanted to get more investment properties, but right now you're, so limited with your capital that you have to go really slow, and because of that, it's causing you to have to stay in your same job because you don't have enough money. So one of the biggest problems that people have when they come to us is the exact same thing. They just don't understand the different financing options and how to get into the property with little to no money down. So they're stuck, saving, and they're only able to pick up maybe 2 properties every few years. So it takes them decades to become full-time investors. So what we do is we train you on how to profit on any deal, which is also including like wholesale and short sale, etc. So what that means to you is that you're not letting just like any deal fall through the cracks anymore. And you're not having to use your own money or apply to bank loans. So that way you're able to scale your portfolio and your businesses quickly and not be restricted by cash flow. Are you with me on that? Okay. Right. Now I want you to notice like about my tone. Like, what do you notice about my tone? Right? Like, what do you notice about my tone? My tonality is doing a lot of different things here. Like, I have dialects on my tone. There's some parts where I lean in. There's some parts where I'm direct. There's some parts where I talk like this. There's some parts where I talk like this. Like, I want them to hang on every single word that I'm saying. And I'm wanting them to realize that I've been paying attention in this call. So again, if you're just wanting to have a screenshot of this, one of the biggest problems that people have when they come to us is, and you restate all the problems that they've been having, the ones that they said, which is causing them, when you talk about the consequences of those problems. And the way that we solve that for clients like you is, and you talk about how you solve the problem. And what that means to you is, and you talk about the benefit. And then you ask, like, are you with me on that? Do you get that? Does that make sense? Another way is you could say, remember how you said that and you talk about the problems, which is causing you, and you talk about the consequences. And one of the biggest problems, companies have when they come to us is the exact same thing you were saying, So the way we solve this for clients like you is, and we talk about how we solve the problems specifically, what that means to you is, and you talk about the benefits of what it does when it's solved. Yes? Is that clear? Right? Let me look right here. Let's see. Yeah, somebody said I'm emphasizing on emotional words, right? My tone is laden with feelings of vibrant. Yeah, I'm like in it. I'm like with them. And you have to think about like, where is this person at? Are they on the phone with you? Or is this going to be on a Zoom? If they're on a phone with me, like I'm super expressive. I'm moving my hands because I want them to hear the different things that are coming in my tonality, right? They need to be able to hear that. They need to be able to recognize that. So if you're on here and you didn't get a chance to come to the replay of the challenge, again, that's closingdealsinheels.com. Or no, it's closingdealsinheelschallenge.com/VIP. And if you didn't get a chance to get on with my team or myself to role play, and you're at a place where you feel like the skills that you have is just not going to get you to where you want to go, guys, like there's literally like 2 months left till Christmas, almost to the day. Do you understand that? 2 months left till Christmas time. Like, are you ready? Do you have money set aside? Like, are you going to be stressed out for the holidays? Are you going to be okay? Do you have every single day where you're stressed out on this roller coaster feeling like, why is it that I'm not making sales, or like praying and hoping it happens and it doesn't? It's because you don't have the skill or you don't have the mindset to help you. You need to have both. You need to remember how incredibly powerful and amazing you are, and at the same time have the skill set so that you take a lot of committed action to get to where you want to go. So happy to help you, happy to support you. I just need you to DM me on Facebook or DM me on Instagram. I think my Facebook was like kind of blocked. We've been messaging a lot of people, or you guys have been messaging us a lot from that challenge. So just DM me on Instagram. My Instagram is Kayla Living Boldly. Again, Kayla Living Boldly. And, just DM me in there the word skills, and we'll get on a call with you. Or if you don't have a copy of our like top 50 objection obliteration scripts of all the scripts that you can use with objections, like just DM me that you want that, and we're happy to send that over to you. Like, the problem is that if we give you stuff like these, you have to show up and you have to do it. It's all in front of you. All the skills are in front of you. You just have to have a willingness to get in front of it and to do what is necessary in order to get those skills so that you can make the money that you're wanting, right? And I know sometimes it's scary, but you got this. I hope that you can add this into your presentation. Typically, you're wanting to do that for like, 2 or 3 moments, right? Like, you talk about a pain point, then you talk about how your solution solves that. Talk about a pain point, talk about what you guys do. So it's really interactive. Is there a cost for the DM scripts? No. Not the DM scripts, the objection handling scripts. No, it's free. That's just for you so you can learn. If you're wanting a copy of all the replays for the challenge, it's like $97. So we took down all the replays. That was just for VIPs. So if you're wanting that, that's fine. Just message us when you've done that, and we'll send that over to you. But I hope that you guys have an amazing afternoon, amazing weekend. You got this. Oh my God. You got this. Everything that you need is inside of you. So happy to support you. Happy to be here for you this month. For all my women that have gone through domestic violence aware this month, and have been through something in your life, just know that you're so strong, so powerful. For the women that have gone through breast cancer or know somebody that has, like, so strong, so capable, so powerful, like, we honor you, we see you, we love you, and we're here to believe in you and watch you thrive. So I love you guys, honor you, and I will see you next week. Bye, ladies.